Let's move on to the second section of this paper, VLR. Let's have a quick look at the breakup of the paper. By and large, a standard paper, except it has made you work more in terms of LR. Normally, you would expect 3 into 3, 3 sets of LR with 3 questions each. Here you have 4 sets of 2, 1 question of LR and 1 question of data sufficiency. It is making you work more. Okay. And instead of a usual 11 questions in the usage part, this has got 10 questions. So slight variation. This is a more difficult paper as far as I am concerned, because this is making you work more. Normally, a given set of data, you should be able to solve 3 questions. This is making you work extra. At least 1 extra set is what you expected to solve in this paper to get a similar score. Okay. 3 passages of IC as per the standard pattern, but I did not enjoy IC. IC was difficult. It was difficult to read, difficult to understand. But we don't have control on this. The paper is not for our entertainment. Our task is to read the passage, answer the question. This was not a difficult to read passage, but it was slightly longer. The passage talked about how choices are based, how choices are made by people when they are confronted with choices. What is the process which is followed? So that's broadly what the passage talked about. Since it was not difficult to read, I'm quickly moving on to the questions themselves. Okay. Let's start with the question 31. According to the passage, the purpose of the experiments on Caltech students was to understand the purpose of the passage of the experiment. Let's go back to the passage. It is actually given straight into the directly into the in the passage itself. Here, if you look at this part, Rangel, an economist turned neuroscientist, is one of those people eager to find the biological basis for human behavior, including choice making. Okay, so what was the purpose? To understand the biological basis. Then you can go further. He and others have concluded, this is the conclusion we have drawn, and this is the kind of experiment where they conducted. So what was the purpose? The purpose was to understand the biological basis of decision making. Okay. So looking at the choices, choice A, which approach stirs potential customers the most? No, that is incorrect. It is not talking about customers. The way in which brain assigns values, not really. This is not what it was looking at. It was looking at biological basis of human behavior. This basis of human behavior leads to assignment of value. That is the process. But that is not what the purpose was. Purpose was to understand the biological basis of the human behavior. And hence the correct answer is choice C. Let's move to the next question. Question 32. From the information on the findings of researchers, which of the following situation would send the strongest signals to the brain? Let's look at the choices. Now to get the answer, let me just take you back to the passage. Randomly presented. Okay, here. Okay. There's the experiment. They randomly presented the students with snack food, candy, etc., etc. The students were asked to assign values for each of the foods. On an average, there was no difference in subjects' willingness to pay for the food between text and picture conditions. So they were willing to pay for all of them. There was no difference in their willingness to pay. But the willingness to pay on an average 50% more for items that were physically present. Importantly, these were real decisions. So where real decision has to be made, that is the place where you will be willing to pay more, or there's a greater likelihood of you're buying it. Subject purchase of those items at the stated price. So real decision. So the key thing out here is that the more for items that were physically present, and these were real decisions. So let's go to the choices now. A sweater displayed in the mannequin, yes, I would be willing to pay. There's a product is there in front of me, I can buy it if I want to. Choice B, a sweater displayed by a model walking on a ramp. When a model is walking on a ramp, it is not a decision of purchase at that point. Or I can appreciate, I can like it, but I cannot purchase it. It will have to go to the store for me to purchase. So choice B cannot be the right answer. Choice C, a woman knitting a sweater behind a glass counter. Not really. There is no decision to purchase because the product is not there. So C cannot be the answer. D, a sweater gift wrapped attractively. If it is gift wrapped, I can see only the wrapping, I don't see the product. Hence D cannot be the answer. So among the choices, choice A is the answer. In this question, I am sure many of us would have got stuck between these two choices. At least I was stuck between these two choices and I did not attempt this question. But later on, when I went through the passage again, I realized that there is a real decision to be made out here. Okay. And hence, this is a place where we'll get the brain will get a stronger signal, while there is no real decision to be made out here. Okay. Let's move to the next question. Question 33. The passage can best be described as hypothetical. No, it is not. It's a real passage. An experiment has been conducted. So there's nothing hypothetical about it. Argumentative. He's not arguing. The author is not arguing. He's not really. He's just giving a statement, or he's just given a passage in which the facts of an experiment have been detailed. Hence, I would call it to be a factual. It is possible many of you may have got stuck between experimental and factual. The passage is factual. An experiment was conducted in the passage, or the passage talks about an experiment which was conducted, does not make it experimental. It is a factual passage because it is truthfully recording what was the experiment and what was the process behind it. Okay. Let's move to the next part, to 37. Well, this passage is slightly shorter than the first one. I'm sure it would have been a little confusing. At least it was confusing for me, and all the paradox, all the philosophy that I talked about did create some sort of problem for me. Okay, I had to slow down, and that is what I usually do. If I find that I'm not understanding it, I slow down, I go through it carefully, and then go to the question, and then come back to the passage to answer each of the questions. So let's go to the questions. Question 34. What is the primary purpose of the passage? Choice A, to compare Socrates and Plato's observation on the experiments of Meno's attendant, to prove the fallacy inherent in the sophist paradox. C, to critically analyze and explain the basis of Plato's theory of recollection. D, to discuss the paradox that exists in man's search for knowledge. Let's go back to the passage. In the beginning of the passage, this is very clearly mentioned what is the purpose of this passage. Yeah. Now if we look at this here the passage talks about what is the paradox. Okay, that a contradiction cannot be made to a paradox is a set of statements that lead to a contradiction. So paradox misleads. Then it talks about sophistic paradox. We have no way to acquire knowledge. Okay, that we have no way to acquire knowledge. However, the sophist paradox must be an illusion since we do acquire knowledge. It is reasonable then to look for problem in the exposition of paradox. Plato does an investigation. So this is what the passage starts off with, and then it goes on to the theory of recollection to verify this particular thing. Okay, so let's go to the choices now. Choice A, to compare Socrates and Plato's observation. At no stage did the author compare their observations. It has talked about their points of view but has not compared them. Choice B, to prove the fallacy inherent in sophistic paradox. Yes, possibly yes. In fact, the theory of recollection by Plato is doing exactly that. So I will hold on with this. Choice C, to critically analyze and explain the basis of Plato's theory of recollection. No, it is used the theory of recollection to check out the sophistic paradox, but does not really explain the basis for the paradox. So I'm sorry, for Plato's theory of recollection. Choice D, to discuss the paradox that exists in man's search. No, it is not discussing that paradox. It is looking at the specific paradox and see and using the theory of recollection to prove that it is fallacious. Okay, so the correct answer has to be choice B. Let's move to the next question. Which one of these is mentioned as Plato's main concern? Now, if we go back to the passage, in the end, it had very clearly mentioned this part. Plato's emphasis is on the existence of the method of recollection. He is not even concerned with how to apply the method. He is only interested in the existence of this method. How to apply, he is not worried. That this is there and it is works is what he is looking at. Okay. So let us look at the choices now. Question 35. The implication of the theory, no, the implication is not what he is looking at. He is only looking at the existence of the theory. So this can be the answer, but let's verify the other choice also. Proving Socrates' point views on the method of recollection, no, that is not what he was looking at. Immortality of the soul, no. Correct answer, choice B. It is very clearly mentioned, as I said in the passage, that his emphasis was on existence of the method of recollection. Okay. Let's move to the third choice. move to question 36. Which of the following can be inferred from Plato's theory of recollection? Now, in the paper, I could not solve this question. While I eliminated these two choices to be incorrect, I was not sure whether B, C or D is the answer, but very, very obvious. The theory of recollection is not being used to prove that human soul is immortal or it cannot be inferred on any of these. The only thing it says is human soul recollects. There is a recollection. Now, I got confused between choice C and D. I did not mark the answer because I was not sure whether it is C or D. So I was a little biased towards C, but in English, in VA, my standard rule is when in doubt, leave the question. I will not take chances because that is the surest way of reducing your score in English. Okay? So human soul recollects the truth is the correct answer, but in the paper I did not mark it. There is no data to support that human soul has seen everything that is to be seen. What from the theory of recollection I can say, what it has seen, it will remember. But has it seen everything? No, the data, there is nothing in the passage which supports that it has seen everything. All we can say, if it has seen something, it will remember. So recollection is the focus, okay, in theory of recollection, and hence the correct answer has to be choice C. Question 37. Why does the author claim that the sophistic paradox is an illusion? Why is it an illusion? Let's go back to the passage. It is very clearly written out there. Yeah. The sophistic paradox tells us that we have no way to acquire knowledge. However, it must be illusion since we do acquire knowledge. It says there is no way to acquire knowledge, but we do acquire knowledge, hence it must be an illusion. Okay. Question 37. Choice A, reincarnation, completely out of scope. Okay. Reincarnation is not something which it has been mentioned, but it is not the key thing out here. Choice B, Plato is unable to provide an example in which learning is acquired. No. Learning is possible and knowledge can be acquired. Just go back to that line in the passage again. Okay. The line said very clearly that the sophistic paradox tells us that we have no way to acquire knowledge, but we do acquire knowledge, so it must be illusion. So why does the author claim that sophistic paradox is an illusion? It's an illusion because we can learn, or learning is possible and knowledge can be acquired. So choice D, Socrates claims that learning is not acquired. No, incorrect. Okay. So question 37, we are through with it. The last passage. This was the passage which I found most difficult to read. While the first paragraph was not an issue, it is this second paragraph which almost put me to sleep. I could not understand most of the things, yet I just went through it, and fortunately the last paragraph was easy to understand from here. That it was Spinoza who remarked that the proper study of wise man. This was easy to understand. It's the previous paragraph which created problem, at least for me, and while I went through the passage completely, this is the place where I was reasonably sure that maybe I'll need to come back to the passage to answer the question if required. So let's move to the questions. Question 38. According to the author, when a man unquestioningly accepts his religion and its dogmas, he... Okay, now since I did not remember this statement anywhere, it obviously had to be in the paragraph which I found difficult to read. I was reasonably sure it was not in the end about the Spinoza or about in the first paragraph. So I went back to the passage and started reading the second paragraph all over again. Okay. We are looking for something. Author says when a man unquestioningly accepts his religion and dogmas, what happens to him? So I said, let me start reading the second paragraph. The man who has, and it came here, the man who has never wrestled with his early faith, the faith that he was brought up with, he's never wrestled means he's never questioned it. And that yet is not truly his own, for no faith is our own, that we have not arduously won, has missed not only moral but also an intellectual discipline. So man who has never wrestled with his early faith, never questioned his dogmas, has missed moral and intellectual discipline. The absence of that discipline may mark a man for life, and render all his work ineffective. He has mixed a training in criticism. Okay, so broadly, criticism, analysis, open-mindedness. So only when you question, only when you wrestle with your dogmas or your religion, do you become open-minded. You get a training in open-mindedness. You do become better in analysis. You have missed training in criticism, and so on and so forth. Okay, so let's go to the choices now. A man who unquestioningly accepts his religion has mastered. It is exactly the opposite. Has not mastered. Has possibly lost out on intellectual discipline. Has won his faith? No. As per the author, no. Emerges in a pure and healthy atmosphere for his faith? No. The author actually says that you become less open-minded, and choice D misses a crucial training in criticism and broad-mindedness. This is directly given in the passage. Choice D becomes the correct answer. Next question, question 39. What does the statement, the proper study of a wise man is not how to die but how to live, what does it mean? Okay. This was the last paragraph, so just to be sure, I went back to the paragraph and checked out the last paragraph also. Let's go to the choices. The subject of study of wise men should be life, not death. Now, if you go back to that passage, it was Spinoza who remarked that proper study of wise men is not how to die but how to live. That means if you want to study a wise man, focus on his life, not what happens after life. Religious creeds, and then it goes further to say that most of religion prepares you for life after that, and that is their focus. While the focus of us should be on how to live, how to make best use of the life that you have, and not how to prepare yourself for the life after death. That is what this paragraph essentially is talking about. Okay. So let's go to the choices. Choice A, subject of study of wise men should be life, not death. Yes, possibly this is correct, but let's verify the other choices also. One should know how wise men lived, not how they died. Okay. Looks close, but I would, between A and B, I would opt more for A, because this is talking about studying the life of the person. Okay. This is going to be in greater detail possibly. Choice C, philosophy is all about life and death. No. One should be obsessed with life, not death. No, incorrect. Correct answer is choice A. Okay. Let's move to the next question now. The author is most likely to be, this should be easy, not the fanatic, because he's talking about being open-minded. He's most likely to be a rationalist because he's saying don't take dogmas for granted, you need to wrestle with them, you need to question. Atheist, maybe yes, maybe no, but rationalist definitely, not a bigot or a fanatic. So the correct answer is question 40 is choice D, a rationalist. Question 41, a question of parajumbles. It has 5 statements, so let us go through the statements and try eliminating the choices. Statement A. Images of the core of NGC 4150 taken in near ultraviolet light with the sharp-eyed wide-field camera 3 WFC3 reveal streamers of dust and gas and clumps of young blue stars that are significantly less than a billion years old. Statement B. Elliptical galaxies were once thought to be aging star cities whose star-making heydays was a billion years ago. Statement C. Evidence shows that star birth was sparked by merger with a dwarf galaxy. Star birth was sparked by, okay. Statement D. But new observation with NASA's Hubble telescope are helping to show that elliptical galaxies still have some youthful vigor left thanks to encounter with smaller galaxies. It appears to me that B and D should be connected, but new observation with NASA's this thing. Elliptical galaxies were thought to be aging stars whose star-making heyday was a billion years ago, but new observation. B and D appear to be connected. Let's come back to it later. Let's go to the 5th statement also. E. The new study helps bolster the emerging view that most elliptical galaxies have young stars, bringing new life to old galaxies. The new study. Okay, it's talking about some new study. Let's have a look at which that new study is. Okay. The new study could be based on evidence shows what's sparked by dwarf galaxy. The new study could be here. Okay, but B, D are connected is what I'm reasonably sure of. So let's go to the choices and see the choices we do not have B, D together. Let's eliminate them. Choice A, B and D are not together, incorrect. B has BD, C has BD, D has DB, so it is again incorrect. So choice A and D are incorrect because statement B, D, which definitely should be together, are not together. So what we have here is, if I look at B and C, it is BDE or BDA. Let us see which of the two combination makes sense. So BDE and BDA. Elliptical B was elliptical galaxies whose star making radius was a billion years ago. Statement D, still have some youthful vigor left thanks to encounter with small galaxies. Statement A, images of the core taken in this thing reveal streamers of dust and gas with clumps of, okay. So new observation with NASA's Hubble telescope, images of the core taken in this thing reveal streamers of dust and clumps, okay. So BDA appears to be connected, but let's check out BDE also. The new study helps. E talks about the new study. So the new study is unlikely to be immediately after D, after D, yeah. So BDA appears to be the thread to me. Just to be sure, let us read the complete sequence together. BDACE. Elliptical galaxies, that is fine. Whose star making radius was BD, helping show elliptical galaxies youthful vigor. BDA, images reveal clumps of young blue stars. Yes, young blue stars. Thanks to encounter with some smaller galaxies, this also fits in here. That are significantly less than BDA. Then next comes is C and E. So CE evidence show. Yeah. So BDACE. So initially I eliminated choices A and D because the combination BD should have been there, which was missing in these two. And the second stage, I felt that BDA is a better combination as compared to BDE, and hence I went with choice C. Question 42. Another question of parajumbles. Much shorter statements in this case. Let's quickly go through the statement. A smattering of do-gooders plead for reform, but it is hard to figure out exactly what sets them into motion or brings them to success. But that means something to the contrary should have happened before it. What sets them into motion, who or what is this them, we need to find out. Vast moral revolutions take place once in a while. The generic statement could be a opening, could be a closing statement, but could come anywhere actually. Statement D. A high-minded prophet in some part of the world denounces the old and dreadful social custom. E. The reform in question appears at a glance to be impractical, unpopular and unlikely. Okay, so just look at C and B. B says it is hard to figure out what exactly sets them into motion. C talks about vast moral revolutions do take place once in a while. So C, B are connected. Vast moral revolutions take once, but it is hard to figure out what exactly sets them into motion. What sets them into motion then refers to the moral revolution. So C and B have to be together. Among the choices, CB is available in choice A, not available in choice B, so incorrect. CB is available here. BC is here, so choice D is also incorrect because of this thing. So now again is it CBD or CBE? Okay, CB. Let's see. Okay, vast moral revolution. What a high-minded prophet in some part of the world denounces an old and dreadful custom. Okay, E the reform in question. E cannot come up. E should come after D actually. Okay, E cannot come before D because a high-minded in the denounces old and so dreadful social custom. A smattering of do-gooders plead for reform. The reform in question. So AE has to be together. Okay, so CBD is the right option. CBDAE. Correct choice. Choice A. Lessons 43 and 44, a set of LR questions. Okay. Let's look at the data and let's look at the questions, how to solve them. Each of the three boys, A, B and C, play at least one of the four games: hockey, football, cricket and squash. Further information given below is, if a boy plays football, he doesn't play squash. So if it is football is yes, then squash is no. So you can play only one of these two games, you cannot play both. Statement 2, at least one of the three boys plays football and at least one plays cricket. At least one has to play football and at least one plays cricket. It is possible no one plays squash or hockey, but football and cricket, each of the four have to, out of those four, at least one has to play each of these two games. Okay, so let's go to the questions. Question says exactly if Chirag plays exactly 3 games, Amar and okay, so we have to create situation and see which one satisfies. And again, there is a question where you have to look at arrangements and see which one satisfies. Okay, so let's look at the data first out here. Okay, let's look at question 43 first. Okay. Chirag plays exactly 3 games. Okay. So the 4 games are hockey, football, cricket and squash. Okay. We have hockey, football, cricket and squash. And the person can either play football or play squash. He cannot play both. Okay. The question says Chirag plays exactly 3 games. Amar and Brijesh played 2 games each. And none of the game is played by both of them. That means Amar and Brijesh cannot play the same game. Both of them play 2 games, but they are not, there is no common game between the two. Which of the following must be true? Okay, so let us look at Chirag first. The games which Chirag can play are hockey, he could play football and cricket. The other combination possible is, for Chirag, is hockey, cricket and squash. So Chirag can play either, go for any of these two combinations. If you remember, a person who plays football cannot play squash, so obviously football and squash cannot coexist. Now we have the other 2 players, Amar and Brijesh, A and B. A and B have to play 2 games each, but nothing in common. So what are, one person could play hockey and football, and which is these two. The other person could be playing cricket and squash. Okay. So these 2 combinations. Another combination possible, so one is this. The other possibility could be hockey and cricket and football squash, but football squash is not possible, so hockey cricket also is not possible. So since football squash is not possible, this combination will not work. The last possibilities, hockey and squash and football and cricket. Okay. So what are the possible cases out here? The second and the third player, which is A and B, they could be interchanged. He could play hockey and football, and the third person could play cricket and squash. So this could be B and this could be A or vice versa. The other possibility out here is, it could be hockey, squash and football, cricket. So it could be this and this for Chirag AB or Chirag BA, and similarly for this. Now in the second case, again we can have similar things, hockey, football, cricket, squash, or the other possibilities, hockey, squash, football, cricket. Now this could be Amar, this could be Brijesh, or it could be vice versa. Okay. So now let's look at which of the following statements must be true. Statement A, Amar plays hockey. Amar plays hockey while Chirag plays hockey, we are sure, but Amar could be this or Amar could be here also. Similarly out here, Amar could be here, Amar could be here, so we cannot say for sure. So we cannot be sure the statement A is correct, hence it has to be eliminated. Statement B, if football is played by exactly one of the 3 boys, then Brijesh plays squash. Football is played by exactly one of the 3 boys, that means, let's look at the cases. Here Chirag is playing football. If we go by this pattern, then football is being played here by 2 people. Similarly, if we go by this pattern, this is also being, football is being again played by 2 people. So this case is not possible. Let's look at this particular case. So if football is being played only by one person, then Brijesh plays squash. If this is A and this is B, then A is playing squash, then B is playing squash by this pattern, and by this pattern, A is playing squash. So we cannot say for sure, it could be either A or B who's playing squash. Squash is played by exactly 2 boys. Again, if you look at this first case, in this case squash is being played by only one. Whether we go by this pattern or this pattern, it is being played only by one person. Similarly, in the second one, squash is being played in this pattern by 1 and 2 or this and this. So, in this case it is one person, it is this case two people who are playing squash, so choice C again cannot be correct. Choice D, by elimination, since A, B, C are incorrect, D should be the answer, but let's just verify. Hockey and cricket are played by exactly 2 boys each. In this particular case, first case, hockey and cricket are being played by Chirag. If we go by this pattern, one will play hockey, the other will play cricket. So 2 people will play hockey and 2 will play cricket. Similarly, in the second also, out here also, again we have hockey and cricket. Similarly out here, hockey, cricket together and hockey, cricket. So in each of these cases, you find 2 people will play hockey and 2 will play cricket. So correct answer is choice D. Okay. Let's move to the next question. Question 44. Brijesh plays squash and Chirag plays hockey. Neither Amar nor Chirag play cricket. None of the games is played by both Brijesh and Chirag. Which of the following statement must be true? Let's try to just jot down what has been given out here. A, B and C. We have hockey, we have football, we have cricket, and the fourth game is squash. Okay. Chirag plays hockey. Brijesh plays squash. Brijesh plays squash because he plays squash, he cannot be playing football. Because if you remember, a person who plays football cannot play squash. So since Brijesh plays squash, he cannot be playing football. Second thing it says is Chirag plays hockey. Chirag plays hockey. Great. So Chirag plays hockey. Neither Amar nor Chirag play cricket. So Amar and Chirag, both of them do not play cricket. I'm sorry. I'll just do this again. Yeah. Neither Amar nor Chirag play cricket. So Amar does not play cricket. Chirag does not play cricket. Okay. Then the next thing is, we have taken care of this, Chirag and Amar not playing cricket. None of the game is played by both Brijesh and Chirag. So if Brijesh plays a game, Chirag will not play it. So Brijesh plays squash, Chirag will not play squash. Similarly, Chirag plays hockey, so Brijesh will not be playing hockey. Okay. Now if you remember one of the conditions, or rather let's go back and check out that condition. Second condition. At least one of the 3 boys plays football and at least one plays cricket. At least one has to play cricket. Now in this scheme of things, Amar is not playing cricket, Chirag is not playing cricket, so Brijesh has to be playing cricket, otherwise there is no one who will play cricket. Chirag is playing hockey, so the condition for hockey is satisfied. Now let's see, go through the choices and check out which is the correct answer. Which of the following statement must be true? Amar plays football. Amar may or may not be playing football. The question is which of the statement must be true. So this need not be true. We are not very sure if it is 100% or rather this is not necessarily 100% true. Hence choice is incorrect. Amar could be playing football. He could be playing hockey also. He could be playing squash also. We don't know. Okay, but he is definitely playing one of these 3 games or more also. So choice A is incorrect. Choice B, Brijesh plays cricket. Yes, we have just found Brijesh plays cricket. So correct answer, but let's just verify the others also. Chirag plays football. Chirag plays football. Chirag could be playing football. We don't have any data to eliminate to say either way. So must be true, not possible. Amar plays squash. Again, we don't know for sure. Correct answer is choice B. Question 45. These are the questions which are most difficult. And these are the questions which if you are not sure, you should be leaving the question. You should not be answering the question until you are 100% sure of the answer. Let's quickly go through the question, word and the statements. Ease. The government appears to have eased back on the RTI Act. Okay. Eased back. The tension between the 2 countries has eased off. He crossed the road when the traffic had eased in. When things ease up a bit, I will go and meet him up. Okay. Now in this, eased in is the wrong choice or is the wrong usage. Okay, you ease in comfortably into a situation. For example, you ease into a car. So gently. Okay, he crossed when the traffic had eased in is incorrect usage. Okay. The correct usage here should have been eased off. Okay. To ease back means to reduce your commitment. To ease back is to reduce the commitment. So government seems to have reduced its commitment towards the RTI Act. Statement B, ease off means it will become less strenuous or less severe. Okay, so it is eased off. The tension has eased off. The temperatures have come down. C is incorrect usage. As I said, eased off should have been the right word, as same as in B. Statement D, when things ease up means become less pressing or less urgent. When things are much more relaxed. So these three are correct usages. Let's move to the next. Similar type of questions. The kind of question which you answer only if you are 100% sure. When in doubt, leave these kind of questions because you are more likely to get them wrong. Okay. So let's look at these statements. Chip. The opposition chipped away. You chip away at the power of the government. This is perfectly fine. You chip away at the power. Okay. The sculpture was chipping off at the stone. You chip away at the stone. Okay. So this is incorrect. So chip. And also if you notice this is chip off at. You will not use off and at together. In any case, it should have been chipping away at the stone. So this should be the right answer. But let's just check out. The paint has chipped off. This is fine. Okay. If everyone chips in, everyone contributes, we will be able to buy a nice gift. Perfectly fine. The correct answer is choice B. Let's move to the next question now. Question 47-48. Again a set of questions on LR. Let's quickly go through the data. 7 books, 2 each of mathematics, chemistry and 3 of physics are to be placed on a shelf. So we have 7 books, 2 of mathematics, 2 of chemistry and 3 of physics. Okay. The 2 mathematics books are algebra and geometry. Okay, so let me write this as MA and MG. Mathematics algebra, mathematics geometry. Chemistry books are organic and inorganic. So CO for chemistry organic, CI for inorganic. And the 3 physics books are kinetics, thermodynamics and electromagnetics. So physics, kinetics, thermodynamics and electromagnetics. The following conditions are to be kept in mind while placing the books. All books of a subject must be placed together. So there can be 7 books have to be placed. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 7 books have to be placed, but all books of a subject have to be placed together. Chemistry books should be placed between mathematics and physics books, which means chemistry will be in the middle, which means that the first 3 can be physics and last 2 can be mathematics and the middle 2 will then be chemistry. The other combination which is possible or other arrangement of keeping the books which is possible is physics in the end, the last 3 physics, the chemistry in the middle and maths on this end. So there are 2 possible combinations which are there because all books have to be together. Within each of these, how the 3 physics books or 2 chemistry or 2 math books are in, that's a separate issue. But at this point of time, there are 2 broad arrangements which are possible. The third statement, thermodynamics book must be placed before the electromagnetics. Thermodynamics must come before the electromagnetic book. So PT, PE, thermodynamics, electromagnetic. Okay, this could be possible. And the third book, PT, the third book of physics, which is kinetics. Kinetics could come here. After kinetics could come here. Kinetics could come here also. All we are saying is thermodynamics has to come before, not immediately before. Okay, so the kinetics book could have these 3 locations possible. Algebra book must be placed before the geometry books. Since there are only 2 mathematics books, that means algebra followed by geometry is likely to has to happen. That means if this is the case, then this has to be algebra, this has to be geometry. And if this is the case, this has to be algebra and this has to be geometry. Let's go to the questions now. If the electromagnetic book is placed immediately before the kinetic book, then which of the following statement must be true? Electromagnetic has to be placed before the kinetics. So, and the third book the thermodynamics book, if you remember, PT had to come, the thermodynamics book has to come before the electromagnetic book, so this has to be PT. So the physics books will have to be placed in this manner. Which of the following statements must be true? So if you look at the two possible scenarios, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and the other scenario is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Let's look at both the scenarios. In the first case, we are saying these three have to be physics and these two have to be maths. And in this case, we are saying these two have to be maths and the last three have to be physics. Obviously, the middle ones are the chemistry books. Okay. Then which of the following statements must be true? Physics has to be placed this way. Okay. The thermodynamics is placed in the second position. No, it cannot be. Thermodynamics can come either here, PT, PE and PK, or it will be PT, electromagnetics and kinetics. So statement A is incorrect. Thermodynamics cannot come in the second. Thermodynamics cannot come in the third also. It can come either in the first position or in the fifth position. Statement C, geometry book is placed in the sixth position. If you remember, MA and MG was algebra had to come before geometry. So that means MA here, MG here, or MA here and MG here. The geometry book is placed in the sixth position. No, algebra will have to be in the sixth position. Choice C is incorrect. By elimination, choice D, but just verify. Geometry book is placed in the seventh position. Yes, it is placed. It can be placed in the seventh. Remember, the question says may be true, not must be true. It may be true. Yes, it could be true. Okay. Let's go to the next question. 48. If a chemistry book is placed adjacent to thermodynamics book, then which of the following statement must be false? Just remember, thermodynamics has to come before electromagnetic. So PT has to be before PE, and kinetics, PK, could come here, it could come here, or it could come here, any of these three positions. Okay. But if a chemistry book has to be adjacent to the thermodynamics book, then physics cannot be the first three, because this chemistry will come in the middle two. And if thermodynamics has to be adjacent, then it will have to be here, but thermodynamics has to come before electromagnetic. So this situation is not possible, that this physics being here is not possible. Physics will have to be in the last three items. So let us try to put that in possible way. The chemistry books have to be in the end. The physics books have to be in the end. Maths book have to be in the beginning. So we have algebra book first, then the geometry book. The thermodynamics book has to be adjacent to a chemistry book, so thermodynamics will come here. And these two positions can be taken by either the kinetic book or by the electromagnetics. So kinetics could come here or here, and similarly electromagnetic could come in any of these positions. The two chemistry books, CI and CO, no condition has been given, so they again could occupy any of these positions. We are looking for what must be false. Statement A, kinetics book is placed before the geometric book. Okay. Kinetics book has to come in the one of the last two positions, while geometry will be the second. So this statement will definitely be false. Hence, this should be the correct answer. This is a false statement, hence it is the correct answer. But if we want to be sure, let us verify the other choices also. Kinetic book is placed before the electromagnetic book. Kinetic book before the electromagnetic book. Kinetic book could be, because these two positions are interchangeable for these two. So this is possible. In one case it is possible, in one case it is not. So this must be false cannot be said. This can be false. So this cannot be the answer. This is correct in a particular case. Statement C, inorganic book is placed before the thermodynamics book. Yes, chemistry books have to be before the physics book. So this is definitely correct. So this cannot be the answer. Choice D, electromagnetic before kinetics. Electromagnetic book is placed before the kinetic book. This is the same as choice B. Choice B and D, both of them are similar. So both of them are incorrect. So the correct answer is choice A. Let's move to the next question now. Question 49, a fill in the blank question with two blanks. Let's read the statement and go to the choices. Traditionally, Indonesians practiced a tolerant, almost dash brand of faith, dash with the Buddhist, Hindu and the animist traditions of the earlier period. So Indonesians are practicing, as per the statement, A brand of faith which combines the earlier tradition, the Buddhist, Hindu and the animist tradition. So let's go to the choices. Let's look at the first brand. That is a tolerant, almost dash brand of faith. Aesthetic, no, this is incorrect. Syncretic, something which combines, something which unites, that blends. Okay, so B could be a good option, or syncretic could be a possible. Hermetic, no, cannot be the correct answer, neither can emetic be. So on the basis of first blank itself, you can say the correct answer is choice B. But would be useful always to read the complete statement with both the words to ensure you have not made a mistake. So let's do that. Indonesians practice a tolerant, almost syncretic brand of faith infused with the Buddhist, Hindu and animist tradition of the earlier period. Perfectly fine. Correct answer is choice B. Question of fill in the blanks. Again, let's read the statement. The more I thought about the vibrant, dash Scottish nationalists driving a debate north of the border about what kind of relationship they want with England, the more grimly dash the fallout on this side of the border. Now this question I started to work with the second choice, the second blank rather. Okay, so I said let me try to fill this up first. Essentially because the more I grimly dash the fallout on this side of the border, I thought it will be easier to fill in this one. So the more I contemplated, I thought about, yes, it is possible. The more I grimly sustain the fallout, I can't sustain it. So choice B cannot be the correct answer. I learned, if you look at start, the more I thought about something, so it cannot be I learned out here. I ascertain, no, I cannot ascertain. Okay, because I don't have data, I am just thinking about it. So contemplated becomes the right word. Even if you would have started with the first blank, the more I thought about the vibrant, rejuvenated, yes possible. Empowered, yes possible. Scottish nationalists driving a debate north of this thing. Okay. Imaginative and outspoken you could have probably eliminated, but you would have come to the second blank. So it does not really matter. At the end of the day, it is important to eliminate the words which don't fit in, and whatever is left behind becomes the correct answer. So out here the correct answer is choice A. The more I thought about the vibrant, rejuvenated Scottish nationalists. In fact, the word vibrant also should give a hint to the word rejuvenated or empowered. Okay. Driving debate north of border about what kind of relationship they want with England. The more I grimly contemplated the fallout on this side of the border. Perfectly fine. 1 and 52 a set of questions of LR. Round 2 for me. I would typically do the usage part first, then come to the RC and LR. But let's see how to solve these questions. 3 teams A, B, C participated in a football tournament in which the teams play with one another exactly once. A win fetches a team 2 points, a draw 1 point, a team gets no point for a loss. Each team scored exactly 1 goal in the tournament. A, B, C scored 3, 2 and 1 points respectively. Let's quickly look at the questions. Result of match of A versus B. How many goals were scored by C against B? So 2 questions. Okay. Let's get back to the data. Now a win fetches you 2 points, a draw 1 point and a loss 0 points. And A, B, C have scored 3, 2 and 1 points. So when I look at A, B, C, win, draw and loss. And these are points. We know that A has got 3 points, B has got 2 points, C has got only 1 point. If C has got 1 point, it would have drawn 1 match and lost the other one. Okay. So for those of you who are not very clear, the matches would be A, B will play a match, A will play a match with C and B will play a match with C. So each of the 3 teams has played 2 games against each of the other opponent. Now if C has got only 1 point, now if C has scored only 1 point, that means it has drawn 1 match and lost 1 match, not this thing. So I am sorry, I made a mistake out here. It has lost 1 match and drawn 1 match. Okay. B has got 2 points. To get 2 points, it needs to have a win and a loss, or it needs to have a draw and a draw. Okay. What about A? A has got 3 points. With 3 points A, that means it needs to win 1. To get 3, it needs to have a 2 plus 1 combination, which means 1 win and 1 draw and no loss. Okay. So this win and this win are compensated and loss are there, which means B has got all two draws. So this is effectively the situation that A has won one match, drawn one match to get 3 points. B has drawn both the matches while C has lost one match and drawn one match. The second thing with the question that said is each team scored exactly one goal in the tournament. Okay. Now that means the match between A and B since B has drawn both its matches, its match with A as well as with B will be drawn. So AB has to be a draw match, BC has to be a draw match. Okay. And A has won against C, so that means when A has won against C, it would have scored one goal more than C. So it would have been a 1-0 situation. So AC match would be a 1-0 where A has scored one goal, C has not scored any. Okay. If A has already used its one goal against C, that means its match against B must be a 0-0 draw. And since B and C have to use their one goal each, this must be a 1-all draw. So this is the situation. Now let's quickly go to the question. So AB is a 0-0, AC is a 1-0, BC is a 1-1 situation in terms of the matches they have played. What was the result of match of A versus B? A versus B, a draw. Okay. So A drew with B. Next question. How many goals were scored by C against B in the BC match? Just to remind, BC match was 1-all draw. Okay. So in the BC match we have a 1-all draw. So it is a 1-1 thing, BC. So B has scored, or rather C has scored 1 against B. Okay. So correct answer, choice A. Question of vocabulary. Each of the 4 statements have 2 words and we need to see which one fits in well. Okay. Statement 1. Any judgment by the Supreme Court is a definite one or definitive one. It can't be challenged, it has to be definitive one. Definitive is something which is final, which is decisive and within authority and hence cannot be challenged. So it has to be definitive. Straight away move to the choices. Choice A is incorrect because of this A. Choice B and choice C we can retain. Choice D is incorrect. Okay. So every time in these questions we do a statement, we go to the choices and eliminate. Now which also means if I get one more statement between statement 2 and 3, I should be able to get the answer. Okay. And I'll not worry about statement 4 at all because both the choices remaining have B in statement 4. So all I need to do is focus on statement 2 or 3 and whichever gives me the answer should be the correct one. Okay. Statement 2. Every system of justice tries for an equitable equable distribution of wealth and resources. Okay. Now, equitable means something which is fair with equity. So statement 2, the correct word has to be equitable. Equable is incorrect. Since A is the answer, that means choice C is also incorrect. Correct answer becomes choice B. So if you work with the choice, you'll always find you can get away by doing part of the work in the paper. But after the paper, you need to make sure that you know meaning of each of the words. Okay. So please make sure you pick up a dictionary and find out the meaning of each of these words if you are not aware of their meaning. Similar question as 53. Let's again go through the statements and the choices. So let's go through the statement. Statement 1. The artist uses a rich palette or palette of stones and timbers. It is palette. Okay. The word palette, most of us would know it is the name of the board on which the artist puts the paints and mixes it there. Okay. So uses a rich palette of stones and timbers. It also means, the word palette also means range, quality and use of available elements. Okay. So it is palette which is the correct one. Statement 1, the correct choice is B. So B is available in choice A, in choice B, not in choice C. So choice C is incorrect and in D. Okay. Statement 2. It is a novel that wallows in gross sentimentality and bathos or pathos. I was not sure, so I said let me go to the next statement. I know what pathos means. I have an idea of bathos also, but I was not sure. So moving to the next word statement. She was ingenuous enough to buy the meritorious product from the vendor. Meritorious product does not make sense. Hence the answer has to be A. But since I am not very sure about the meaning of meritorious, so I said let me just move on to the statement, to fourth statement, and then see if I can get the answer from there. Statement 4, a whooping 90% of the respondents equivocally or equivocally said yes. It has to be unequivocally, sorry. Equivocal is speaking in two directions. That means not being sure. When you are being unequivocal, you are 100% sure, you are confirmed. So 90% said yes unequivocally, so without any doubt. So statement 4, the correct answer has to be B. A is incorrect. Statement 4 has to be B. Since this is not B, it is incorrect on account of this one. This is also incorrect. Then this is the only one. And incidentally, choice statement 3, meretricious, A is also yes. Correct answer, choice A. Now, again, I would like to remind you, don't get worried if you don't know the meaning of each and every word in the paper. Go through the statement, keep eliminating choices, most of the time you will get the answer. However, now that the paper is over, you need to make sure you know the meaning of each of the words. Bathos, pathos, palate, meretricious. Even the word ingenuous, I am sure many of you do not know the meaning of the word ingenuous. Please pick up a dictionary and find out the meaning. So after the paper, it is your task to get the meaning of each of the words. Question 55. A question of para completion. Para completion, question 55. Let's read the para and then look at the choices. Zero has a long history. The Babylonians invented the concept of zero. The ancient Greeks debated it in lofty terms. How could something be nothing? The ancient Indian scholar Pingala paired zero with the numeral 1 to get double digits, and both the Mayans and the Romans made zero part of their numeral system. But zero finally found its place around AD 498 when the Indian astronomer Aryabhatta sat up in bed one morning and exclaimed, Sthanam Sthanam Dasagunam, which translates roughly as place to place in 10 times in value. With that, the idea of decimal based place value notion was born. Look at the choices. Now zero was on a roll. So it was born and now zero started becoming, let me say, popular, or the process of zero or usage of zero becoming popular. So A could be correct on account of continuity. Okay, let me write it here. So I am saying on account of continuity, it could be correct. Now zero spread to the Arab world. The spread of zero has already been discussed earlier. So I am not sure if this can be the right answer. So while I am not accepting it, I am not eliminating it completely, but purely on account of continuity, I am not very sure about it. So I'll put a question mark, but most probably it is incorrect. Choice C. Zero ultimately found plenty of employment together with the digit 1. This is definitely incorrect on account of continuity. This has already been discussed earlier. If you go back to the paragraph, Pingala paired zero with numeral 1 to get double digits, etc., etc. So zero already was finding lots of employment. So something which has been discussed earlier, talked about earlier, will not come in the end again. So choice C has to be definitely incorrect. Zero ultimately flourished in Silicon Valley, out of scope. Okay, this is out of scope as well as on account of continuity. On both these parameters, I would say it is incorrect. So we are left with A and B. Now zero was on the roll makes more sense because now that has been now that the usage of zero has been defined clearly, the decimal place system has come out. Now zero is becoming used more and more, so it is on the roll. Okay. Now zero spread to the Arab world, incorrect. Okay. Correct answer, choice A. Question 56. Another question of para completion. And so I cried and prayed, and as months passed, the ceiling above my bed slowly went back to being just a ceiling. Taking Lucette by the hand, I went back to school. There were hundreds of other children like me, children who had done nothing wrong and who like me had suffered some tragedy and were waiting patiently, serving out their time, coping as best as they could. Let's go to the choices. Statement A. If they did not ask questions, it was because they knew they would not like the answer. Could be correct on account of continuity. Could be correct. If you look at the last statement, there were other children who had done nothing wrong and who like me had suffered some tragedy and were waiting patiently, serving out their time, coping as best as they could. If they did not, they meaning the children did not ask questions, it was because they knew they would not like the answers. Okay, so they were coping, they knew they would not like the answer, hence they did not ask questions. On account of continuity seems to be correct, but let's look at the other choices. Choice B, at night in darkness, I brooded my sadness. Incorrect, completely on account of continuity again. Because darkness etc. could have come here. Now, I went back to school, obviously it is not darkness, it is in the morning that they is talking about. Maybe in the beginning it could have been there. So choice B is definitely incorrect. Choice C, I had loved this town all my life and today I had to leave it. This is incorrect on account of scope. The paragraph is not talking about the town per se, it is talking about the specific situation and within the school's environment. Okay. And choice D, the tension was palpable. The anger almost burned the walls, not connected at all to the passage. I will again say out of scope. It is not connected to the passage at all, and hence the correct answer is choice A. Question 57-58, a set of LR questions, and LR is something which I will do after I have done the usage portion. So I typically do the usage portion first and then go to LR and RC. Okay, let's look at the set. In a gathering of some friends, it was observed that 5 of the friends don't like to play cards, 5 don't like to watch TV, 5 don't like to listen to songs. Among those who like to play cards, only 4 like to watch TV. So among those who play cards, 4 watch TV. Among those who watch TV, only 3 listen to songs. Among those who listen to songs, only 2 like to play cards. Only one of the friends likes all the 3 activities mentioned. Yeah. Let's quickly have a look at the questions. Question 57. What is the total number of friends in the gathering? And there is a choice called insufficient data. And question 58. What is the number of friends who like exactly one of the 3 activities mentioned? Okay. So question 58 again has a choice called cannot be determined. Okay. So let's try solving the question. At this point of time in this set of data, the choices and the questions are not helping us much, but let's jot down the basic data and then see if we can make use of it. So let's try to tabulate the data. Group of friends. Some of them like to play cards. Some of them like to watch television. And some of them are interested in listening to songs. Okay. Let's start with the last line. Only one of the friends likes all 3 activities mentioned above. So, one comes out here. Now, among those who like to watch TV, let's start from here. Among those who like to watch TV, 3 like to listen to songs. Among those who watch TV, that means this is the set we are talking about. 3 like to listen to songs. 1 is already here, so there should be 2 more. Okay. Next, among those who listen to songs, 2 like to play cards. Among those who listen to songs, 2 like to play cards. That means this should be 2. Or rather, this should be 1 because 1 is already here. So 1 out here and 1 out here, it makes it a total of 2. Okay. And the third thing is, okay, we look at this. Among those who like to play cards, 4 like to watch TV. So by the same logic, this should be 3. So what are we left with? We don't know the values of this. Only cards, only TV, only songs. We also do not know if all the friends indulge in one of these 3 activities or not. So it just says in a gathering of some friends was observed this thing. So we cannot assume all the friends are indulging in one of these activities. There could be a few friends who are not playing cards or watching TV or do not enjoy songs. So let me say that is D. D is the number of friends who do not play cards or watch TV or songs. Okay. Now let's try to write it down. We know that 5 of the friends don't like to play cards. So the friends who do not like to play cards are B plus 2 plus C plus D. So we can say B plus C plus D plus 2 should be equal to 5. Similarly, the next thing is 5 of the friends don't like to watch TV. So not wanting to watch TV will be A plus C plus 1 plus D. So A plus C plus D plus 1 is equal to 5. The next thing was that the students who or the friends who do not like to listen to songs, again is 5. Not like to listen to songs would be, okay, we have already done songs, which were the 3. So okay, so 5 don't watch TV. Let me just repeat this part. Okay. Similarly, 5 friends don't like watching listening to songs. So not listening to songs would be A plus 3 plus B plus D. So A plus B plus D plus 3 equal to 5. So these are the 3 questions we have got with 4 variables. Okay. So let's see if we can get the answer out of it. Now if I add all the 3 equations, I will get, there's 2A, there are 2 B's, there are 2 C's and 3 D. So I'll get 2 into A plus B plus C plus 3D. This should be equal to 5, 10, 15. 15 and this 2, 3 and 1, which is 6, will go on to the other side and get subtracted, is equal to 9. Okay. We have this equation of 2 into A plus B plus C plus 3D is equal to 9. Let us have a quick look at what the questions want. Question 57 wants what is the total number of friends in the gathering. Total number of friends in the gathering will be A plus B plus C, which is, or rather total number of friends will be A plus B plus C plus 3, 1, 2, 3, 2, 5, 6, 7 plus D. Okay, this is the total number of friends. So I don't need the values of A, B, C individually. As long as I can get A plus B plus C plus D, it should be fine with me. And what is the next question 58? Number of friends who like exactly one of the 3 activities. Number of friends who like exactly one of the 3 activities is nothing but A plus B plus C. Okay, this is the one A plus B. Only A, B and C like exactly one of the 3 activities. Okay. So let's check out if we can get the answer directly without individually finding the values of A, B, C. So in the question what I did, I said since 2 into A plus B plus C plus 3D is equal to 9, let me see what are the possible values of D. Now if D is equal to 0, this implies 2 into A plus B plus C will be equal to 9. This is not possible because 2 into any number has to be an even number. On the right hand side we have an odd number, not possible. What about D equal to 1? If D is equal to 1, this implies 2 into A plus B plus C will be equal to 9 minus 3, 6, which is equal to 6, which implies A plus B plus C is equal to 3. So let me write it down here. D equal to 1 implies A plus B plus C equal to 3. D equal to 2. This again would not be possible because on the right hand side you will again have an inconsistency, which is if D is equal to 2, this becomes 2 into A plus B plus C will be equal to 9 minus 6, which is 3. So there is inconsistency, not possible. D equal to 3. This implies 2 into A plus B plus C will be equal to 0. This is possible. And the second case is if D is equal to 3, this will imply A plus B plus C is equal to 0. Okay. So there are 2 cases which are coming out. D equal to 1 and D equal to 3 if we go by this, and hence you could be tempted to mark the answer as cannot be determined. Okay, this means if the choice called cannot be determined was not there, I could have easily got the answer from here itself. Okay. But since there is a choice called cannot be determined, that means we have to solve these equations. So your next task will be to solve these values of A, B, C and D, and then you will be able to get the answer. It will take some amount of calculation effort, and unfortunately there is nothing which can be done about it. With the choice called cannot be determined, you will have to go through the calculations. As 1, B equal to 0, C equal to 2 and D equal to 1. Okay. With these then you will be able to get the answer. Unfortunately there is no shortcut. I am repeating, had there not been a choice called cannot be determined, then we did not need the values of A, B, C and D. But in this case we need to have. The correct answers are Question 57, the correct answer is 11. And question 58, the correct answer is 3. 5 people A, B, C, D, E are standing in a row facing east. Okay. It is known that Amir is standing adjacent to neither Bimal nor Ehsan, neither B nor E. C is standing to the immediate left of A. Either B or E, but not both, is standing at one of the ends. E is standing to the right of C. Who is standing in the middle of the row? Okay, so let's look at the ways by which these people can be standing. These are 5 people. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Statement 1 and 2 are not, rather statement 1, we'll come back to it later, but statement 2 says Chatur is standing immediate left of Amir. That means C and A have to be together. Let's see in how many ways or what are the situations in which it is possible C, A could be together. Another situation could be C, A. Similarly, we have 2 more cases which are possible, C, A and C, A. These are the 4 possible cases in which C and A could be together. Okay. Then let's start looking at the other statements. So we have used statement 2. Statement 4. Ehsan is standing to the right of Chatur. So E is standing to the right of Chatur. So if E is standing to the right of Chatur, this case is not possible because E cannot be to the right of Chatur. E can be to the right of Chatur in the next 3 cases. So this statement or this particular arrangement is incorrect. This one, arrangement 1. Okay. Let's see if it is possible in others. Yes, it is possible here as well as here. E could be standing to the right of Chatur. Okay. But look at the other statements. Amir is standing adjacent neither to Bimal nor Ehsan. So E cannot be standing here. E will have to be on this side. So if E cannot be standing here because he cannot be next to Amir, so A and E cannot be together. So that means this arrangement also is not possible. This arrangement is not possible because this means E will have to come here. Okay, E has to be to the right of Chatur, but statement 1 tells us that Amir cannot be next to E. So this second arrangement is also incorrect. So it leaves us with 2 other arrangements. Let us look at the third arrangement now. Third arrangement says that E has to be on the right of Chatur, so E could be here. But E cannot be here because E and A cannot be adjacent to each other, which means E will have to be here. So if E has to be here, the other 2 people which are left are B and D. So if we put E out here, we still need to place B and D. Amir is standing adjacent to neither Bimal nor Ehsan. So B cannot be next to Amir and E cannot be next to Amir. That means B will have to be here and D will have to be here. Look at the other statements. If there is no contradiction, this will go ahead. If there is a contradiction, we will have to eliminate this. Statement 3 says either Bimal or Ehsan but not both is standing at the ends. Arrangement 3, both B and E are standing on the ends, so it is contradicting statement 3. Hence, the third arrangement is also incorrect. So we are left with one arrangement, and that is the arrangement which has to be the correct one. Let us try to complete that arrangement. Now since B and E cannot be next to A, that means B and E will have to be here. B and E, that means it could be B here or B here or E in one of these places. So these 2 places are occupied by one of them, and which means this has to be by D. This place has to be occupied by D. Does it satisfy all the conditions? Yes. Amir is standing adjacent to neither Bimal nor B or E. Yes, Amir is not standing adjacent to B or E. This we have already ensured. Statement 3. Either B or E but not both. So between B and E, one of them will be in the corner and the other corner is occupied by C. So this satisfies. Statement 4. Ehsan is standing to the right of Chatur. Ehsan is standing to the right of Chatur. E is standing to the right of C. Yes, we have already taken care of it. So the correct answer is choice D. Choice C. Question 60, question of data sufficiency. Mark A if it can be answered by only one of the 2 statements. Mark B if both the statements can answer the question individually. C if both statements are required, and D if the question cannot be answered with the given data. Question, what is the sum of two numbers? We need to find the sum. The LCM of two numbers is 46. If the LCM is 46, that means the number should be factors of 46. So factors of 46 are 1, 46, 2, 23. So what are the combinations which will give us the LCM of 46? It will obviously be 1 and 46. Okay. It could be 2 and 23. And it could be 23 and 46. So statement A is insufficient because the sum of the numbers will be different in each of these cases. So statement A cannot give the answer to us. Okay. Statement B, one of the two numbers is 46. If one of the two numbers is 46, one of the two numbers is 23. This is insufficient to give us the answer because if one number is 23, we need to find sum of two numbers. You don't give me the second number. Statement B alone also is insufficient. But when we combine the two of them, the three cases are these. 23 is one of the numbers. If 23 is one of the numbers, that means this case goes out. But here the sum becomes 25. Here the sum becomes 69. Insufficient data. The correct answer should be choice D. We don't know which of these two should be the correct answer.